Our good friend, Bob Vanderplot's over at The Family Leader. Good to see you, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing really good till I got that flag thrown on me. Life is good.
I'm a little passionate about these Kexi cookies. I mean,
I can tell that you are.
They're pretty incredible. They are pretty incredible. So you just got back from D.C.
I did.
And I wanted to just kind of let the audience in, let you be kind of a conduit, if you will.
Sure. On
what the mood is there and what you heard or didn't hear. And I'm just going to ask questions, and I'm going to make you tell me I probably can't address that publicly. I'm going to make you say that.
I plead the fifth.
Okay? All right.
Yeah.
But can I start with a question that every single person within the sound of my voice wants to know the answer to?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What in the Sam Hill is the United States Congress doing right now? I
have no idea. As a matter of fact, I didn't go to Congress. Other than having lunch with Senator Ted Cruz, I did not go into the halls of Congress. That's a good question maybe for Mike Johnson or maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene would be more open about what Congress is doing right now. I don't know.
So, but did you sense, I mean, you've made enough trips to D.C.
Oh, sure I have.
Okay. Did you sense the hustle and bustle of foot traffic and energy and pressure of we're trying to get this agenda passed and these bills lined up? Did you sense any of that at all?
No, I didn't sense that. And now to be fair, I spent most
Don't be fair. None of these, none of them deserve it, but go ahead. Yeah.
I spent most of my time with the executive branch and with Ambassador Yakil Leiter, the Israeli ambassador to the United States, and then Senator Ted Cruz.
So you were collecting your $7,000 for being pro-Israel?
Yeah, not quite. However,
listen, I've known Bob for a long time. It's going to cost a lot more than $7,000.
Yeah,
everybody just needs to know that.
DC for $7,000.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, go ahead. Yeah.
But it was honestly, Steve, it was my agenda that I wanted to go to DC with. So it wasn't a thing about, hey, Bob, come to DC. We want to talk to you about whatever. I really wanted to find out this whole deal with Israel, the anti-Semitism that we're seeing in the country, across university campuses, the growing threat of it on the right. Tucker Carlson's a friend of mine. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
Tucker and I have gone back and forth on text messages about this. I've not decided to air this in public. But I did want to get to some people who I thought they are passionate about this, and one of them was Senator Ted Cruz. And we had a great lunch on this. He understands, and I think he and I share a lot of the same philosophy, whether it be the biblical prophecy piece of it, the strategic nature of this, and then just the politics of this as well. And the politics being, listen, if we're just going to end up dividing everybody on the right over issues like this, it's going to be awfully hard to win again.
Mm-hmm.
The strategy being you can be America first, but still have an interest in what's going on in the nation of Israel, a friend of ours in a very hostile region, as well as the biblical prophecy to this. And so that was with Ted Cruz with lunch. And then Yakil Leiter as well, wanted to find out from the ambassador. I think it's more than coincidence, Steve, as being a person of faith. You understand this as well, that Yakil Leiter would speak at our leadership summit in 2024, right before he gets appointed ambassador to the United States from the nation of Israel. And he and I have developed a friendship. And we have obviously some key ground, some common ground, as well as some key interest. And so I had a great visit with him as well at the Israeli embassy.
All right. Let me ask you some follow-ups on those two conversations. Okay. And again, I'm just going to make you tell me if you can't talk about something.
I've had more conversations too, but you go ahead.
Oh, anything else you want to mention?
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So Ted Cruz. All right.
Sure.
I have said to this audience a few things. Number one, I have received more text from my former boss in the last, I'd say, 3 months than I have conservatively the last 3 years combined. All right. And it's pretty clear to me that he wants to run for president in 2028 and is planning on it. And it's also pretty clear to me that, what's the lane, what's the avenue, what's the opening? And that he sees, again, evangelicals are still the largest voting bloc in the Republican primary coalition.
Mm-hmm.
2 of the first 3 states in the process, traditionally, we don't yet know what the calendar will be in 28, but traditionally, 2 of the first 3 states are Iowa and South Carolina. And even though evangelicals in those states are not the same, they do dominate both of those states. You are still going to have one, at least, close to a boomer-dominated primary electorate. or boomer / Gen X dominated primary electorate. And the older you skew in our evangelical coalition, the more decidedly pro-Israel you are.
Without question.
Okay. And we're still going to get way more people between the ages of 48 and 78 voting in this primary than between the ages of 18 and 28 that are all over X and obsessing over Israel and the Jews kind of stuff, right? Okay. So I think he sees that that's his lane, all right? He already was very popular with evangelicals, thanks to a lot of help from guys like you and me. He was already very popular with evangelicals the first time he ran. He's retained a lot of that popularity. And in Ted's defense, it is also his native tribe, right? Comes from the Southern Baptist Church. His dad's a Southern Baptist minister. It's how he was raised. And so he speaks the native tongue. And I think that he sees where there's something to exploit here, particularly with the presumed favorite, J.D. Vance. The perception is that he is aligned with the more anti-Israel group. And I'm going to ask you about him in a minute, too. Mm-hmm. But that's where he sees that fissure there is something where he can run up the middle of that and find himself a base by which to try to expand a campaign from. This is what I've said to my audience. Based on so I've already said this out loud to them. Based on the conversation you had with him recently, would you contradict any of that?
I won't. And if I begin with the end in mind, there's no doubt in my mind that he wants to run in 2028. And whatever you think about Ted Cruz, he is a political animal. He understands politics very well, polling very well, what's his lane, those types of things. He's very politically astute. But Ted is also somebody, Steve, as you know and I know, he believes what he believes to be really real. He does not back away from it. So it's just not the politics of it.
That's an important thing. For those of us that know Ted, you I think, drew the right distinction. Ted is a politician. He is a political animal. One of the first things Ted does is check X and Politico and all that stuff every day to see what's trending.
He knows if he has a lane or not.
He does. All right. But here's the thing. What he looks for is what lines up with my principles that I can politically exploit. Yeah. Okay? And when he finds that, that's when he's at his most effective and becomes like a dog with a bone. So what you're saying is he thinks he has found that here, where his own personal convictions and principles lines up with what politically will also benefit me at the same time.
He loves his country. He loves the nation of Israel. He understands that when he speaks at Kufi, John Hagee's church, that he's going to get huge, thunderous standing.
That's Christians United for Israel, for the uninitiated.
Thunderous standing ovations because of his message on Israel, America's leadership, what it means biblically, what it means strategically, what it means politically. He's going to get that. So the other thing he understands, though, Steve, is that he has one of the top-rated podcasts in the entire country today. Mm-hmm. So it's not that he's just a U.S. senator, from Texas, which would be a big deal the way it is. But he's got a podcast. He's talking to the American people every day. He's growing his base. He's growing his audience. And he also knows, kind of like you and I said about the governor's race here in the state of Iowa, he believes that about the presidential race as well. A primary will make us better. A primary will make us sharpen the focus and understand where we are at on the issues and that we're best prepared to beat a Governor Newsom in the general. So I don't think he's a guy, he's not going to back away from a primary. He's also a guy, if you recall, when he got elected to the U.S. Senate in 2014, he didn't want to be there forever. And now it's kind of like, it's 2026 and I'm still here. Mm-hmm. I think he's a little bit like, hey, I've done my tour of duty in the U.S. Senate. I've done all this. I have real questions and concerns about the leadership of this country. Although I'm very supportive of the Trump agenda, I want to make sure that we can carry it through. So I think what I heard at lunch that day, he's very passionate about this country. He's very passionate about the nation of Israel. And I think he also sees there could be an opening for his candidacy if he were to run.
So that brings me
I believe he will.
So that brings me to the presumed favorite, J.D. Vance.
Sure.
And of course, because Ted is very politically astute, he is not unaware that J.D. Vance is the presumed favorite. He can read all the public opinion polls that are nothing but name ID contest, beauty contest at this point, right? I am curious, when you talked to the ambassador to Israel, the ambassador from Israel to the U.S., how much were they aware of this political conversation that's happening? How much do they think is legit? For example, a friend of the program, Big Data Republican, has a study out today that just points out that a lot of what Nick Fuentes has online is basically just fake AstroTurf. Mm-hmm. That there is some audience there. It's not so he has some following. But this idea that he's poised to be the next Charlie Kirk or any of this kind of stuff is not even remotely close to true.
No.
All right. And a lot of this is promulgated by foreign elements, for example. So essentially, Nick is Lyndon LaRouche with a foreign psyop backing it to make it look like it's more, paramount than it actually is. So is it a problem? Yeah. Is it systemic? No. Okay. So how much are they aware of that? Did he talk at all about, because the vice president is seen as, because of his friendship with Tucker, frankly, is kind of seen as the candidate of the Israel skeptic group, which is interesting to me because his chief of staff, Jacob Reeses, who both you and I know, okay, is a Jew who just got back from Israel to observe the Passover there in person.
Yeah.
Okay. Or I'm sorry, Yom Kippur there in person, I should say, the High Holy Days. Okay. So did that come up in those conversations with him at all?
Well, let me give you a little bit of a backdrop. The name I didn't drop, Senator Cruz, obviously, Ambassador Leiter, yes. But I also had a visit with Jacob Reeses in the executive office building, the West Wing of the White House. Mm-hmm. Jacob, you're exactly right. Jacob is a Jewish believer. His family is of the Jewish faith. His father has a storied background with World War II. Jacob is all in for the nation of Israel. I don't believe he's serving under J.D. Vance if he believes, the guy's not solid here on this. And I can't say a lot about my conversations with Akil Leiter, the ambassador from Israel to the United States. But what I can tell you, he's very appreciative of this administration, I mean the Trump administration, which J.D. Vance is very much a part of, and how much strategically they are in alignment with one another. And that the sharing of intel, the making sure that nobody's taken off guard here and that we're going in with our eyes wide open on about everything. Also understanding, what is real intelligence, what is fake intelligence, and where's the fake intelligence coming from? Primarily China, Russia, others like that. The whole idea is to sow discord, especially amongst the right, because they know that's how we lose on this deal. And so Ambassador Leiter, he's a dear friend, obviously loves the nation of Israel. He values the alliance with the United States very well. And then Jacob Reeses, that was another really good visit. And regarding the threat of anti-Semitism on the right in this country, and the only thing I'd probably tell you from Akil Leiter when I talked to him about J.D. specifically, he said J.D. was really good in a lot of the meetings. He asked a lot of the right questions that a lot of people are about put America first. J.D. asked the right questions about putting America first.
So thoughtful but not reactionary.
Yeah, but that's what you see in J.D., right? You saw it in the debate with Governor Walz. He didn't take any of the bait. He knew he was dominating the debate already, so therefore there was probably no reason to get upset or be reactionary to it. But what you see with the J.D., he's very bright, he's very articulate, he's very winsome, and he is very thoughtful. I'm going to go in with a game plan. And so I guess I left there, Steve, with from a Ted Cruz to a Jacob Reeses to an Ambassador Leiter. A lot of them are singing off of the same page. And to me, that was somewhat reassuring.
So is it possible? I mean, Ted was given, a photo op in the Oval Office just a few days ago.
Sure.
And the president even handed him the mic to see if he wanted to make public comments. Obviously, he picked J.D. to be his running mate. There's a lot of talk that Sarah Huckabee Sanders wants to run. You and I have been talking about that and alluding to that for a couple of years.
Sure.
Former White House spokeswoman, another. So there's a lot of speculation about Marco Rubio and what he may do. Okay. Is it possible, when we have this many people who have some level of loyalty to Trump, is it possible that he does not endorse? Or at the very least, lets this process play out for several months before he does, to say, hey, team of rivals, the most ruthless and cunning and effective wins, okay? And it's very important we win this next election, and I think you all need to punch on each other and lean on each other a little bit to make sure you're ready for what's coming your way, kind of a thing, rather than right away I just say, this is my, prince in whom I am well pleased kind of a thing. What do you think?
I think you're right on. I think this is going to be more of an apprentice type thing. I do not believe it's going to be a quick anointing. And even though he may think, J.D. should be the guy, I think what it is like, no, let's let this process play out. If there's not a clear winner here, if the MAGA movement, if the Republican Party is not just saying, no, let's anoint J.D. at this point, then he's like, no, let's let this process play out. It'll make J.D. tougher. It'll make Ted tougher. It'll make Marco Rubio, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. And I'm just telling you, if you get those three running, let's say Sarah Huckabee Sanders runs, Ted Cruz runs, J.D. Vance runs. If those three run, I got to believe Ron DeSantis is running. I got to believe Nikki Haley is now running. I believe that makes Marco Rubio. So, see what I'm saying?
A lot of our audience wouldn't mind if her son ran.
And all of a sudden, the field starts blowing up. And that's where a Marjorie Taylor Greene, all of a sudden, she comes in because I want to have a voice in. You've seen it before. Everybody wants to have a voice in the process, right? So I believe, and I just told our team, I said, I think that the caucuses could actually be a much bigger number than we initially thought. Remember last year? When we
30 seconds.
Yeah, it's going to be a shadow primary if Trump runs, doesn't run. And all of a sudden, all these candidates started running. And I think you could see that same thing happen again, all hoping that they'd get Trump's, basically anointment.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
All right. God bless, guys.
You bet. Hour 2 is next. Stay tuned.